Gearing up for CitizenCon, Best in Show Ships, and IAE coming up around the corner for 2023. Very exciting stuff. This video is more content with Awesome Ash. If you haven't already checked out our channel, please see it in the description and the pinned comment below. She covers Star Citizen. She has technical videos. I have it on a good authority that she has a wonderful new creative video coming out with a lot of interesting stuff going on for a new product. I'm telling you, check out our channel if you haven't already. This video is about ground vehicles. We're going to cover Star Citizen ground vehicles and really talk about their feel, their looks, what we want to see in the future, possibly for concepts. Really fun stuff. Thank you for sticking around to my long-term subscribers.
I don't think that's what this was for. I think this is a mobile meeting room,
That's pretty
and that's
interesting.
its only purpose. I think it is a mobile meeting room for high security meets where, like, I don't know, maybe space is like too vulnerable or something, and they just need to like drive off somewhere.
Yeah,
That's my feeling.
both seats have the view screens and everything. There is a server on board that serves to these screens. You have the ability to kind of like see what's going on around you too. I mean, yeah, it would be interesting for that.
Yeah. And then it's got the little bucket of wine. And it's only 2 people with a giant table in between you. Yeah, this is screaming a meeting room to me for like making deals.
Yeah, and even like if let's say you're in one of these seats and somebody walks in, you could sit in this seat when you see them come in and you greet them, and you take a seat, and then they hop into that seat and then they have everything they need for the deal. Yeah.
And that makes even more sense for the placement of the wine. The wine would be served by the host.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, without a doubt. It's a slick little vehicle. It certainly maxes out the use of the Ursa, and it really suggests like I think the Ursa platform. By the way, I'm going to record this. Um,
Okay.
I think the Ursa is like a vehicle that I think that platform could be used for a couple different things. One of the obvious ones that many of us have said is like for rescue work, like putting a tier 3 bed in there, like a very low quality bed that can keep you alive, like say a knocked out player.
Oh,
And
heck yeah. It's
yeah,
the perfect size for a little wheeled ambulance.
exactly. And then you could look at the Ursa and do a few other things. You could put a bed back there, like I think that one of the smartest things you could do is have one that's a medical one. That on the left side it has the refrigerator for the medical supplies, and has like some vague little workstation for medical stuff, and then the bed on
Mm-hmm.
the tier 3 bed on the right. And then there's another one that's just like an RV that has a normal bed you can log off in on the right side instead of a medical bed. And then it still has the fridge for normal
Yes.
stuff. And then it has like a small kitchenette to the left of the fridge. And then you're done. It's like, I feel like you could develop both at the same time in tandem and just change the color scheme, change the look and feel slightly. And I mean, you could recycle the same assets across both of them, other than of course the medical bed stuff.
Yeah. I would like to see one. It would involve more work, but I want one to be a noodle truck.
Yeah.
Like the side folds out and you can like have a food truck. And if each restaurant got one, you could have like a little tiny, like, oh, that'd be hilarious. You get like 4 different restaurants inside the 890 and you have like a little tiny food truck ring.
It might make more sense to do it at the back, because you can see right here where this window is exposed. Anywhere that the
Yeah.
windows are exposed, you could fit it out the back, or you could replace one of the assets here, like where the fridge is or where the stuff on the right is, relocate that, and then you could turn around and say, okay, that's all going to fold outwards. It's going to pop out from the side, and then
Yeah. The way that I was sort of envisioning it was that you would take the non-luxury Ursa
yeah,
and the whole right side would like fold down. So it would go like right at the wheel level. It would turn into a shelf. Because, you know, like in a food truck, the person serving you is a bit higher than you are, and you'd be a bit higher at that level.
yeah,
And then you would serve it out that way, and then the door would stay in its same spot, so the door would be on the back. But yeah, you'd like serve noodles or burgers. I would love to see that. And an RV. An RV would be really cool too.
Yeah, I think in general the RV is one of those that like people have been just asking and asking and asking for, and I think CIG is hesitating because they're worried about the impacts of a logout system on a ground vehicle for the obvious reasons. Like, if you take that ground vehicle and suddenly park it inside let's say a C2 Hercules, and you park 7 of them in there, 8 of them in there. Oh, sorry, 6. Let's say 6 just to be safe for sizing. Let's say you park 6 of them in there. Now you have 6 habs. So that means that 6 people can log off in there besides the crew of the C2 Hercules. Does that impact game balance? I think that's the only reason CIG's been so dead set against putting ground vehicles in with a bed. It could also just be a technical limitation, like they're worried that like technically it might impact them too much. But I really hope they eventually get over that fear, because like for whatever one reason or another, whatever reason it is, these things really should be a thing. And I think the more specialized ground vehicles we have, people can like really make the game their own. And like think of it, like we're sitting inside an MSR right now and this thing's running.
Yeah.
So the Ursa rover, it's small enough to fit in a lot of ships. That's the big thing about it. Where it can do, like you mentioned, news truck work. It can do I would also say like a mechanical truck would be interesting to me, like a tool truck. They can carry different style tools, tier 2 tools, all different kinds, because we're starting to get, just like this med gun here, we're getting more and more tier 2 tools, and we can't carry the entire kitchen sink on our backs and on our legs and stuff. So having like even just being able to pull a tier 2 tractor beam off a rack, and then have this truck that you can travel around your outpost, or even just around a big ship, even, dare I say it, when they get big enough, it would make sense to a certain extent to have something like that.
That gives me game loop ideas. Like, you have a cargo Ursa, and you have to deliver quantum drives from one shop to another. Or something. Like, yeah, that would be a cool game loop. It's like within the Hurston city limits. So you can't take a ship to do it, but you can drive on the road work. That would be cool. I would like to see that.
And the other thing that's really a kicker about that is like there's going to be places they said that are just flat out you cannot fly, just like you mentioned, where they have manufactured things. Like there's a solar storm, now you can't go there. Where there's enemy AA turrets. I mean, we need you to fix this critical communication system the pirates knocked out. But the only way to get to these 3 communication stations is you have to drive there. And if you're going to drive there anyway, you might as well bring a utility vehicle.
Yeah.
Like little clever things like that. Like the mission objective is don't get seen, don't get caught doing the mission. But it's high risk, high reward, and if you bring this vehicle, it can like lay cable, and it can do all these different exciting things that the other vehicles simply can't. Or in hospitable terrain, where you can't just pull out a hand tool because it's too dangerous. So you, instead of wearing the big goofy oversized suit we talked about earlier, you could be inside this vehicle's cab, and you can suddenly use tractor beams, you can manipulate different tools and stuff from inside.
Yeah, and like we have that other vehicle, just the 4-wheel one, Cyclone? Is that what it's called?
Yeah, the Cyclone.
Yeah. But I mean, I don't see the versatility in that.
The problem is it's a buggy. And a buggy is a buggy. That's great for off-roading, that's great for whatever it is. The problem is it's got a limited amount of storage space. It's got a limited amount of capabilities. Even the Grey Cat, the smaller buggy, actually is coming out with a UTV that has extra lights, it has a higher clearance, it has a dump bin on the back, or a collection area for storage. It simply put, the Cyclone hasn't done a good job with. Especially because Cyclone takes up more space than the Grey Cat, to a certain extent.
Isn't it taller?
Yeah. And all the mounted ones are really tall, so much so they can't even fit in the 400i, the Cyclone MT, for example. Like the tallest ones can't.
Well, that's not thinking it through very well. It must be very limited on what ships it can go in then.
Yeah, it's literally in like a special classification above what's normal. The Cyclone MT, which is the one you really want, as the missiles and the gun.
Yeah, I think I remember during the whole Luck Festival. I don't remember what it was called. But that they like drove it off a cliff and into the back of an MSR. But you never actually, I don't think you actually saw if it landed right or not.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, like, the MSR's doors, I mean, it's not that big. I don't know. We need more Ursas.
Without a doubt. It's a platform just big enough to fit all sorts of utility, and we desperately need more utility vehicles in the game that can do different things.
Mm-hmm. I didn't even think about one that would lay cable, like you were just talking about a little while ago. Giant spool on the back, laying cable.
That'd be awesome. I could definitely see it at the very least as like a specialized mission one. It's issued to you by the company that's requesting it, or the UE advocacy or something.
Oh, that would be really cool. So, like, they would basically hire you as, like, a driver.
Yeah, and that would like certainly add to the mission profiles that we have in the game. Like, oh, take the specialized secretive piece of equipment, or this, whatever reason you're not used to using it.
Yeah. That'd be a cool... I would play that game loop a lot. I love driving in video games.
Well, the game needs reasons for people to be driving.
Could see one as a fire truck.
I could see that. Ambulances, fire trucks.
Yeah.
We already have plenty of what you could classify as security vehicles or whatnot.
Police prison transport.
That would be a cool one too, like a bounty support vehicle.
Yeah, because they've already got it for, like, the flying, like, spaceships. But once it gets on the ground, there's no real way to transport them.
Nope. And also, they're just releasing the bounty, what they call the bounty floor or something, where it's like going to be a dock that's assigned to take a bounty cargo. They showed the Cutlass Blue, for example, in the new Port Olisar. It's called Seraphim.
Mm.
The station's going to be called Seraphim. It's a replacement for Port Olisar, but they insist Port Olisar they're going to do something nice with it. But they have no idea what yet.
I'm glad you said the name of it. I could not understand what they were what name they were saying in the official video.
That's what they kept saying over and over again. Seraphim, Seraphim, Seraphim. It's like, that's nice and
To me,
all.
it sounded like each person said something different. But that would extend that game loop. Like,
Yeah.
I would be totally fine being part of the bounty mission, but, like, I don't have a whole lot of fun with dogfights. So having to capture them out in space does not interest me. But transporting them to the prison, say, or to, like, some other place on ground level,
Mm-hmm.
I am totally interested in that.
And that's actually, not only is it fine, it's actually would be welcome. I think players that want to be planet side or moon side all the time in general, or moving between those places and appreciating a lot more of their percentage of their gameplay on the ground is exciting.
Mm-hmm.
Like right now, there's not much incentive to use these ground vehicles, but there should be.
Yeah, but oh jeez. I won that tank like a year ago and I've never used it.
And now the Nova is like it's difficult to justify the Nova in some cases. Like, at the very least, you need 2 people to use it. You're supposed to have 3, and then you got the new mini tank that's like the Storm. It's called Storm. It still takes up a ton of space. It only has 1 seat. It only uses 1 person, and it's like they didn't stop and like work on the Nova at the same time they worked on the Storm. They should have They're like, oh, the Storm's got weapon rack. The Storm has personal storage and all this stuff. It's like, why doesn't the Nova have all that?
Yeah. And like it's still a massive vehicle. It should definitely have at least some space for it.
Exactly.
This thing is so cool. Sadly, though, I think I'm going to head the ship back into port so I can get something to eat.
Sounds like a plan.
It sounded like you were nibbling on something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard it during our conversation. I was like, I bet Red's eating something. Oh, poor little old me has no food to munch on. Not even a cracker. No, this was a lot of fun. I'm hoping we can get together soon to do this again.
Sure, yeah. I'm available pretty often. I mean,
Lately. But like it's been like just busy enough to be irritating.
yep.
Alright, come on, tell me to contact ATC. There we go. Oh
Okay.
my goodness.
Alright,
That was
alright, everything's good.
awesome.
So, so this is the normal docking collar that they really don't like, this thing here. It goes up into the air. And basically, to get this thing to work, they would need to put like a set of ladder in or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they have to do the same thing for the MISC, don't they?
Yeah. Honestly, the Starfarers in general desperately need work done to them. So, I have some hubris about, you mentioned how I know ships pretty well. I made a mistake on this ship. There's the escape pod still intact, interestingly. Not used. So nobody survived long enough to get to them. Or thought they were going to be safer than just staying on this doomed ship. These things right here. These lights were a slightly different color back a while ago. And they did a pass or something, like a lighting pass, on this ship when it was best in show. So right after it was released to be best in show... oh, wow. The gravity's all gone in here. This is cool.
Yep.
So when it was best in show, they changed the color of the lights to be a little more cheerful, like this off, I don't know, bluish, pinkish color, whatever this is. And okay, that's really cool. Your suit is showing its little thrusters kicking on and off on your chest.
Ah, really?
Yeah.
Alright, I'm going to see if I can watch myself. Nope, that's my butt. That's the ship. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, that is. So it ended up being who put up the caution tape though? This all happened. Whatever.
I don't know. There's like hints of there being a secondary, like, side mission
Yeah.
where I think you're supposed to turn that thing off and it will restore gravity, or at least get rid of it all over the ship. I don't really know. At least
Okay.
that's like what the data pad says, but it doesn't work, so I don't know for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, so the
Yeah, like-
lights, the lights all over this place were a certain different color, and I made the mistake of assuming that the Best in Show one had, it was a weird pinkish color, but the lights were really neat in the sense that they didn't have that problem of they didn't have that problem like sorry, not problem. They changed the color of the interior lighting. So I kept saying over and over again, like, "Oh, it's really wonderful that they have the interior lighting change with the Best in Show skin. That's a nice touch, you know." So it's the first paint we had that had interior lighting changes, and finally, I got a hold of one of the originals. Didn't have the Best in Show paint on it, and I noticed like, oh, it doesn't do that. It's the same. It's that same new color of the lights. So yeah, hubris.
You are just dancing all over the place.
I don't know what's going on here. I'm just trying. Okay. So we got to get to the bridge, I'm betting.
No, but we can take a look at the bridge. I don't know if I've actually seen it in this condition.
It is crazy seeing your suit. Like it's,
Oh, they're staying on now.
okay.
How do you work this elevator? Or is it just not working?
It's
Going down.
so right now you're desyncing above me.
You
Yeah.
are not desyncing with me.
Cool. This is that little room, I think. Yeah, this is a little ladder to nothing. It'll take you outside if you're not careful. Oh, you can actually enter the gun stations and the scanning station.
I think you can get stuck in them though.
Oh. And the claw operator. The claw!
The claw!
Okay. This is actually really slick.
We have to go back up to the main floor to go where we actually need to go.
Cool.
You're by the pad.
I can't see you, so I don't know.
Okay.
I assume at some point you'll resync. I'll resync or you'll resync. Because you can still see me, I'm assuming it's on my side of the problem.
I can still see you, but...
Oh, you just resynced for me.
Ooh!
I just took
Fun.
an injury? Question mark? Okay, I just took an injury, but I'm not dying, so that's... Okay. I'm
Well,
91%.
that's good. Oh yeah, there's also these areas down here on the subdeck if you wanted to look at that.
I'm good. The ship's trying to kill us.
I mean, it makes sense. It's gone through a lot of shit.
Ship's done with it. So I take it we're on this elevator here? Oh, on here? Okay.
I mean, yes, we do eventually have to take the elevator. But I think there's a data pad for me to get down here.
Cool.
Nope, I was mistaken. Hopefully, I still have your gun.
Honestly, it's fine.
Okay.
Either way, you can keep it even if you find it in your storage or something. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, I do have storage.
They
Yes, it is in storage.
like I said, you can keep it. It's a energy rifle, energy weapon. They're pretty neat.
Ooh.
Lightning bolt pistol. So this right here, this elevator, they said they're reworking this, and when they finally get around to reworking the reclaimer, they said it's too much of a bottleneck for the amount of cargo, the amount of material that has to pass in and out of this ship.
All right. So that top hanging one that has the open side and the flashing yellow light inside of it, that's where we got to get.
Okay. You have your insurance policy up to date, right?
Yep. And I brought a tractor beam just for this.
Oh, okay.
But I don't actually remember how to get up it. Yoink. But yeah, like, as much as I don't like this ship, it is one of my favorites just because of the whole alien thing.
That is very understandable.
All right, and now, like, I located the body. New objective. Yeah, so now we have to deactivate the gravity using the engineering console. Oh, okay, so I did have to go to the subdeck for something.
I know how to get this deactivated and
you?
demonetized. So we sing Defying Gravity, and then Disney copyright claims it.
That was a stretch, but I enjoyed it.
Whee!
Oh, that sounded like it hurt.
I
Okay,
still
so we
have
need
my
to
med. I
go-
still have at least one head civil or whatever on me, the one that stops the bleeding.
Habitation deck. I think that's where we gotta go.
I gotta start carrying my med gun again. I really liked being like the hero every now and then. You just like pointed at somebody and you just like, yeah, you did something dumb. Here, zap, and you get here, have some health.
I have no frickin' idea how to use that gun. None.
It's a little tricky. It's a little tricky.
I've just been carrying med pens because I have no frickin' clue how to use that thing.
If we end up back at a state, even just a station, we can grab one. We can test it out.
All right. I'm guessing I just press power.
This thing looks like it wants to kill us.
Priority reset. Weapons. I mean, it said power. Yeah, shut off.
It looks like control rods in a nuclear reactor that want to explode and blow into the ceiling or something. And those things on the ceiling look like they're like they like manipulate the control rods. This thing's gonna come out of the ceiling, isn't it? It's gonna like.
I have no idea. I've never done this before. I have no idea how to turn off gravity. It just said that we need to deactivate it from the engineering station, but it doesn't specify if it's this engineering station or the one in the bridge.
Why don't you stay at this one and I'll go to the bridge?
Or, I don't know if it's the bridge.
Oh, the other like rooms to work in or something?
Oh, yeah. That one room that was like right outside the bridge.
Okay.
I think there's an engineering station there.
I'll go there.
Okay.
This is kind of funny. We're accidentally sounding professional for once.
I take offense to that, sir.
We run a clean ship here, full of not professional.
I run a very dirty, unsafe ship. I thank you.
I got tips from the Hurston crane crew.
Yeah, they had a data leak, and I took everything I got to heart.
Okay. Okay, transitioning to and from the gravity, like the places controlled by gravity and places aren't, is kind of rough.
Yeah, right. The like if you just want to get through, the easiest way to do it is to go down the left passage. That
Gotcha.
has the smallest non-gravity section.
Okay, I see a scanning station, remote turret station. Ah! Okay, the gravity just
Objective
decided.
complete. Deactive. Oh, I guess I just had to use the console and then turn it off.
I didn't even do anything up here.
I think it was me.
Cool. Awesome. Okay, I'm in the bridge right now. I'm gonna wander my way back. Ah!
Alright. Oh, this is exciting. This will be the first time.
Did it have an
Oh, can
animation
you...
of those rods?
No animation.
Huh.
Can you not use the tractor beam to, like, pull yourself along anymore?
I'm pretty sure you can. This sounds like it's just not set up for it properly.
Yeah, it must not be set up to work right with this ship.
What is going on here?
Are you running into gravity pockets?
I'm running into no gravity pockets.
I think that's what you're supposed to be running into.
Like more so than the way in, if that makes sense.
Oh.
Ah!
Alright, I'm going to wait for you by the elevator.
Okay. I'm currently... the dead guy's moving around the cafeteria. No! Keep
The other
bumping
thing
into
that I
him.
like about this mission is because no baddies spawn, it's an easy, like, 20 grand,
Nice.
I think. Can I check how much the mission is?
Yep. In the contract, like what your final total is, and then also, of course, in the payout happens.
I can't see it.
You'll get a pop
That
up.
screen thing messed up my
Hello.
view. But yeah, it's like, I think it's like an easy at least like 15.
Oh, I don't see an elevator right now. Okay.
Yeah, you just fly through it. Then we fly up here.
Fly me to the moon.
And
Lay among the dead bodies.
should be there.
Jupiter. Oh, he's got free
Objective
armor.
complete.
Hey, he's got armor.
Who does?
The dead guys. This dead guy has armor on him. He's got Venture Core armor. That's worth a couple K.
I don't think you can. I don't think you can. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, did you get it from him?
Mm-hmm.
Ah, it wouldn't let me search it. It just brought up the data pad stuff. All right, that's cool. You got yourself a set of armor. So now we have to go back to the ship and then go to Arc 1, I think.
Sorry. You like stopped. You like stood still, and I bumped right into you.
I'm very cautious in 0G.
Fair enough. I think I gotta roll my scroll wheel back a couple paces. Oof. Okay.
Oh, this is exciting. I've never finished this mission before.
That is a cool mission. That's really cool. I've never done that one before at all.
I am very glad you like it. It is, so far, my favorite mission. Alright, we'll try this again. There we go. Yeah, so far my favorite mission, and just because no baddies ever spawn, it's super easy. And it's at least 10k. I'll tell you how much when we actually drop the pad off. But I think it's actually like 21. And you're safe inside the ship, right?
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Okay. The armor I just got off that guy, I just put it in the ship storage.
Oh, thank you.
Mm-hmm. That's how I, the 890 missions where you do have to fight, but it's not that bad. Especially if you bring a ship where you can regen on board. So you just go back, you know, keep going back. Those are really fun if you can get 2 or 3 people together, and then you loot the field. Like there's like 30 people on all the pirates and stuff you take down. So you just get sets and sets and sets of armor and weapons.
Ooh.
Yeah, it takes time. Like you gotta like keep going back in and hand collecting and chucking it in your backpack and everything else.
Yeah.
But like, it is worth it.
So this mission gives you 24,600.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah, for like very little actual work. If you can get the mission to work right, it's a huge payday.
Yeah.
But I would like to go on one of those missions you were just talking about.
Yeah.
And I can almost guarantee if there is fighting involved, I will probably die in the first 10 seconds. But I understand that's the kind of player I am.
But you just keep respawning. Like that's kind of the game with that one. Like you just keep coming back. You like don't learn your lesson, so to speak.
Yeah, I'm like that guy you see in cartoons where like he steps 1 foot outside the door and it's a headshot. Like he just instantly dies. That's me.
The biggest trick is just you wear like disposable gear. Like you wear like Odyssey flight suit and helmet, and then you just go over there with like weapon and a few magazines for it. And then you just loot the field for like your chest armor, your arm armor, your leg armor. You just keep looting and looting. And I mean, you just wear it. The backpack's the only troublemaker. Like, if you go over it first, you might want to go over with like something on your chest and then something that so you can mount a backpack to that, and then risk the backpack. But like, if you die, you just go back to your body and just pick the stuff back up. Like it's not that bad.
Well, thank you for sticking around. I hope that these videos were worth it. I am still working on my capital video. Decent bit of voiceover work being worked on for that. Took some of the comments to heart about that video. And a lot of RL stuff that I've been working through. A lot of busyness there. So finally I have some time to really focus on these. And I guess the time is right. You know, I have said in the past that my bias is towards the PU, not towards Arena Commander, Star Marine, Theaters of War, even though I'm a huge Battlefield fan. Um, Even Theaters of War doesn't really pique my interest that much if it impacts the PU. I have said before that I am looking forward to Squadron 42. I hope to see a beta soon, or at least a couple playable missions to experience in the near future. And I think this CitizenCon will probably give us our 1 year warning that the entire game is ready. Who knows where that will be? Promises have been made in previous CitizenCons, I feel obliged to mention, but I am optimistic that CIG is on a path towards having, I would call it realistic goal setting, being able to put their 1,100 plus now staff in lockstep into the goals they want. And, you know, the entire community has a say, not just me, which is why I went out of my way to mention my biases at the beginning of this little segment. but I hope to hear during all of the excitement for the other game modes and for Squadron 42. I hope to hear some good progress for the PU. Those that have run into me on Discords or run into me in Spectrum, etc., probably have seen me mention, or our StarCitizen, have probably seen me mention a thing or two about the Liberator. And I contend that it is a long shot, but I do believe there is a chance that the Liberator is waiting in the wings, probably before the end of this year as a release date, tentatively. And my theory for that is it is a two-bed ship with limited tech debt, as I mentioned in my previous video covering quasi caps, that really just needs its PDSs to function without having any new uh, services that are automated services where literally you have to land and somebody can come over and tractor beam or use a small vehicle to load and unload goods and weaponry off your ship, basic repairs, etc. Because it does not have advanced services on its pads, there is a interesting chance that the Liberator is close to being ready to be launched out the door. Additionally, it's not going to break the game in the sense of it has no massive weaponry. It doesn't need to be heavily balanced. I have mentioned in my quasi-cap video that it is actually extremely weak from below because its man turret is on top of the ship. Even with reasonable firing arcs, it cannot protect itself from its belly except for its single PDS that is towards the back bottom of the ship if you look at the holograms, which is its second PDS. Many people notice the PDS on top, not the PDS on the bottom. There's two. One other thing to mention is that it is necessary for Pyro, and I see the Liberator as my small victory. If we can see that come out by the end of the year, that there is still a dedication to Pyro, there is still progress towards Pyro, because in the words of the developers themselves, the Liberator was created as basically a ferry to move people between Pyro and Stanton and vice versa, and is basically the key to Pyro. Being able to engage a jump drive and a within reason, reasonably priced ship, both out of game and I'm sure in game, I'm inferring, based on the way the pricing structure is going and the scale of the ship. And the fact, once again, it has limited services. It does not have a ton of habs. It does not have large offensive weaponry that punches above its weight class. It basically is just a good all around ship for cargo carrying, vehicle carrying of ships and of ground vehicles, and will certainly be interesting in the Fury meta. That is the one thing I do want to mention, is that it may need to be balanced around how many Furies that this thing will be carrying, and people will have these probably interesting videos and screenshots of groups of people that all band together and hop onto one of these in a Fury gunboat style situation where there's just piles and piles of Furies that are hopping off of this thing and swarming enemy targets until that calms down. It's going to be pretty rare, but it is worth mentioning that as one fear I have, because I don't want to see the ship get, nerfed on its carrying capacity, which is what it's all about. And that's all I have thoughts wise. Very excited for the best in show ship showdown type events coming up. I hope to see a couple interesting ships that really could use their time in the sun that have not been in the BIS slots and have not enjoyed having one of the four paints. I've always contended that the semifinalists are really all the victors in that ship showdown. But I hope to see some new ones in the sun, and I'll probably be making a video on that uh, that may ruffle some feathers about what I feel belong in the semifinals this year, but I'll leave that for the next one. So, thank you all once again to my long subscribers for sticking around, and thank you all for checking out this video in general. I am glad to be back. Take care.